trying to get his player set once again as Guy Sims, the wide receiver, goes in motion, now switching directions. Finally, Griffin takes the snap. Another counter hand off to Fleeks. This time, nothing doing as 4 red, white, and blue jerseys were all over him almost as soon as he touched the ball.
I think that was Ben Perkins who got the stop, number 60, was the first one there from Hillcrest High School. Well, when you run into a guy that's 6 foot and 290 pounds, you're not going to go anywhere.
Brings up a second down and long situation. Looks to be about 12 or 13 yards needed for the Arlington Panthers. We have no score with 8 minutes, 40 seconds and counting in the first period of play. Texas Rampage had one offensive series, which looked good at times, but ended rather poorly for them with a blocked field goal. The Arlington Panthers have taken over since then and have moved the ball. Danny Manuel, the fullback behind quarterback Kurt Griffin. Carlos Fleeks, the tailback. A pro-I formation as Griffin drops back to pass, fires to Sims on the near sideline. Guy Sims, the wide receiver, has the ball and is down close to the 20-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 5 or 6. Actually, 7 or 8 is probably a better estimate. It's going to be just shy of the 20-yard line, and that will bring up a third down and long. They need to get to about the 16-yard line. So it'll be third down and about 5 for the Arlington Panthers. Split backfield this time is Manuel and Fleeks in the backfield. Now they shift out of it and move into an I as tight end Darius Ford moves over to the left side of the formation. Griffin is back to pass, wants to go up top, and he threw that ball too far out of bounds.
I think the wind caught that one in the air. It just didn't. He tried to lead him, but I think the wind caught that and brought it out a little bit behind him.
Your intended receiver on the play, number 85, Tommy Hamilton, 5'10", 175. And Brian, he is out of an institution that we know very well, the University of North Texas.
Great school.
And it brings up 4th down and 5 for the Arlington Panthers, and that means Neil Blanchard, place kicker out of New Mexico State, on to try the field goal. This should be about 38 yards, and from what we saw in the pregame warm-ups, this is just a chip shot for him.
But it is into the wind, and a strong wind it still seems to be.
Here's the snap. It's down. Blanchard, he has his kick blocked. The kick partially blocked. It's taken by the return man, the safety man, Ben Molina. Molina returns it on the left side of the line. He is across the 15-yard line and forced out of bounds there. So the opening drives for each team, they're virtually mirrors of each other. Each team starting out with good field position. Panthers with a little bit better starting field position, actually, than the Texas Rampage. Moved into the opponent's territory and had the drive end on a blocked field goal attempt.
You've got to be able to convert those. Once you get down past the 50-yard line and get into the other team's territory, you have to be able to pull those some points out.
So with 7:06 to go, first quarter play, the Texas Rampage take over. They have the ball spotted about their own 18-yard line as Mike McDade is under center once again. Gives the handoff this time to the big man, Ed Canty, all 250 pounds of him. That time Canty met quickly by a couple of Arlington defenders. Picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. So the big man Canty able to find a little more room to run. Panthers had trouble running the ball straight up the middle on their first possession, and this time they take no chances. They go to the big man. Split backfield, receiver in the slot. Quick pitch this time coming to the near side. Mike Moore keeps his feet, stays in bounds, fights for room, picks up a couple of extra yards inside as he is out to about the 22-yard line.
Arlington Panther cornerback Mark Moten did exactly what he was supposed to do. He didn't let him get outside of him, pulled him back into the middle of the field, and that's exactly what you want out of your cornerback. If he's not going to intercept a pass or interrupt a pass, you want him to pull him back into the inside. That's their job.
It's going to be 3rd down and a long 4 for the Texas Rampage. Rampage shuttling personnel in and out, as you can see. Troy Bird, a wide receiver out of Iowa State, checks out. Bernard Stiggers, number 1, back in the game. He is split to the near side. A slot to the far sideline. Split backs behind McDade, who now is giving the signals to his team. He drops straight back and now is forced out of the pocket and has to roll right. He takes a deep drop and is finally forced out of bounds, and I don't think that is what the Texas Rampage had in mind at all.
No, it wasn't. I don't know why he didn't throw that one out of bounds. I don't understand that.
Big rush from William Towns, 6'3", 275-pound defensive lineman out of the University of Nevada at Las Vegas. He chased McDade very deep into the backfield, almost got him, but McDade able to shake free with that athletic ability. However, he was held up just long enough that other Arlington defenders were able to come in, and I think also part of the reason why McDade held on to it so long was there was good coverage there by the Arlington secondary.
That's very true. That's very true. With Panthers, you know, even though we talked about their size at the beginning of the game, they showed some speed there, and a lot of it they did.
This time it's a punt for the Arlington Panthers out of their own end zone. The kick is up, and it appears to be straight up. This is not going to be much of a kick. However, with the artificial turf, it gets a great roll, a great Texas Rampage bounce down to the 41-yard line. So they lucked out a little bit there. However, still excellent position for the Arlington Panthers.
Got a Rampage down in the end zone. I think, is that the kicker?
Looks like it could very well be.
Yes, it is. Rudy Cipriano.
And we have a penalty marker down in the end zone as well, as Cipriano is down. Now coming off, limping somewhat, but still coming off under his own power, and we'll see what the call is.
All right, huh? Running into the kicker. Okay. Got it. Running into the kicker. Still forward. Now we're going to re-kick. Re-kick. Still forward. The choice is, huh? Huh?
So the call running into the kicker, which is only a 5-yard penalty. It's not as serious as roughing the kicker. Arlington Panthers did get quite a rush on there on that punt. And while they made no contact with Cipriano, he was able to have the punt off. But once he did kick it, and then on the follow-through, I think some of the defenders fell on him or around him. So he actually hurt himself coming down.
Well, the defense for both teams on these kicks have been tremendous and given a lot of troubles for the punters and the field goal kickers.
A 5-yard walk-off for running into the kicker. The preliminary indication would be that they would kick it over, but instead they're just going to walk it off now. And the Arlington Panthers will just have to start from 5 yards further back. And with 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go, still in the first quarter of play, the Arlington Panthers will have the chance for their second offensive drive. Quarterback Kurt Griffin, number 12, is under center. Manuel, the lone setback behind him. Wide receiver in motion coming to the near side. That's Fleeks. Carlos Fleeks, the running back. As Griffin takes the snap. A delayed handoff. Straight ahead to Danny Manuel. Manuel 6 feet, 250 pounds, out of Emporia State. He has the ball across the 45-yard line. That close to midfield now. They're going to give him progress to the 48-yard line. This will bring up second down. We'll call it 3 for the Arlington Panthers. Clock running. We've got about 4.5 minutes to go, first quarter. I formation in the backfield behind Griffin. The tight end, Darius Ford, moves over to the left side of the line and is now set. Griffin wanting to change things up. Pitch back to Fleeks. Fleeks, plenty of room to run over on the left side. Now finally corralled and then forced out of bounds by the Texas Rampage. In on the stop for the Rampage, James Foster, number 11. He's a defensive back who served in the United States Marine Corps prior to his service now with the Rampage. He was one of a number of blue shirts that was there just in time, or otherwise Fleeks might have hit pay dirt.
Marcus Compton was there initially, but missed the tackle and allowed him around the outside.
At 220 pounds, Fleeks is pretty good size for a tailback there, but he also has the speed, as you saw. A combination of that size and that speed could be a very dangerous combination. First down and 10 once again for Arlington. Quarterback Griffin again wanting to change up the play. He has a split backfield behind him. One of the players jumped, and this time it's a counter handoff to Fleeks. Not much doing there. In on the stop, Chris Bradford. Defensive tackle out of Cisco Junior College, number 77. James Foster checks back into the game for the Texas Rampage. The short game sets up the Arlington Panthers for a second down and 8. Under 4 minutes and the clock is running. Ball spotted at the 41-yard line. Danny Manuel, the lone setback behind quarterback Kurt Griffin. Griffin again taking his time at the line. Straight drop back. Quick pass. Pass completed to number 40, Damon Bullock, one of the tight ends, 6'2", 290 pounds. He's out of Long Beach State. He was wrapped up quickly by Cedric West. West, a defensive back out of the University of Idaho. He was an Idaho Vandal in college.
Nice open field tackle there.
Yes, it was, and not only the form was good, but he was there as soon as Bullock pulled down the ball. So Bullock able to make a quick catch. However, the defense was there right away. And so with 2:30 to go, we have a timeout called by the Arlington Panthers.
Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, we'll draw some ticket stubs at halftime.
So a timeout on the field. No score with 2:30 to go. First quarter of play between the Arlington Panthers and Texas Rampage. And we'll be back with more action right after this. Okay. Welcome back to Standridge Stadium here in Farmers Branch for tonight's game between the Arlington Panthers and Texas Rampage. Alongside Brian Smith, I'm Robert Eicher. And Brian, so far, each team has had 2 offensive series here in the first quarter of play. And while they've shown the ability to move the ball at times, neither has found the end zone yet.
No, the defense is playing really well, though. It's once there was some fans there looking along. Once the offense gets about 20, 30 yards, the defense needs to kick in and figure out what they're doing wrong.
The opening drives for both of these teams ended in a similar fashion. Drove deep into the opponent's territory, only to have their drives come to an end with a blocked field goal attempt. And that's the kind of thing that can be discouraging, especially once you get so close. And then the Texas Rampage there on their second possession, they went backwards mostly. And the Arlington Panthers once again showing the ability to move the ball very well on the ground with their running back, Carlos Fleeks. Danny Manuel, the fullback, also getting a couple of big carries in there. Quarterback Kurt Griffin, he's number 12, 6'3", 220 pounds, out of Central Arkansas State. He's put the ball up just a couple of times, but he's been pretty successful when he has.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of passing in this game yet. It'll be interesting to see if they go to the air soon.
So this time it's 3rd down, 8 needed for the Arlington Panthers. Ball spotted at the Rampage 41. A 4 wide receiver set. Manuel, the single setback behind Griffin. Fakes the handoff. Griffin lets fly, and that was too short.
It was deflected, actually.
Yeah, and the pass too short either way, intended for Lennon Stovall. He's a wide receiver out of Northeast Louisiana. And we have a penalty marker on the play.
Holding Rampage.
Got holding over here. That's automatic. 5 and automatic.
So defensive holding the call against the Texas Rampage, and you could hear the official say 5 yards and an automatic first down. You could see Stovall complaining a little bit as soon as the ball hit the ground. He turned to the official and said, hey, he had his hands on me. And he pleaded his case, and this time he won, as defensive holding and a first down keeps things alive for the Arlington Panthers. A 3 wide receiver set, and now they switch to 2. Manuel and Fleeks in the backfield behind Griffin. A pro I formation for the Arlington Panthers, and now movement along the line as Chris Posey, a defensive end, the defensive end on the near side, as a matter of fact, for the Texas Rampage, came across and made contact. He said he was drawn off, and the official agrees with him as a legal procedure the call against the Arlington Panthers.
That was on Pat Sullivan, number 78 of the Panthers. Had a little early start there.
Ben Molina checking into the game for the Texas Rampage on defense. He'll be a defensive back on the near sideline. Now he moves cross field. Again, the Arlington Panthers switch formations on 1st and 15. Carlos Fleeks takes the handoff. Has room for a while on the near sideline, down to the 35-yard line, and the penalty marker comes flying in late. We'll see if possibly a late hit against the Texas Rampage.
Personal foul, Rampage.
Personal foul, the preliminary indication against the Texas Rampage. That's 15 yards, should be another first down. And that could turn out to be a big penalty here in the early going.
The Panthers can't take advantage of this. 15 yards that they didn't have before.
Personal foul on the defense. First down.
You're right, Brian. Certainly can't afford to give 15 yards to a team, especially a team that appears to have the offensive prowess that the Arlington Panthers have.
Following the penalty, 1st and 10 at the 19.
So now it's a first down and 10 for the Arlington Panthers. 2:19 to go, first quarter of play. We still have no score, but the Arlington Panthers trying to change that here. There you see Kurt Griffin. He takes the snap. He drops back, wants to pass, and he is sacked. Nice blind side hit by Gregory Peace, 6'2", 240-pound defensive end out of Southwest Oklahoma. Griffin never saw him coming, at least not until it was too late.
There was nowhere to go.
So that will set the Arlington Panthers back about 4 yards, it looks like. Call it 2nd down and 14. Under 2 minutes to go and counting here, first quarter of play.
Hey, Shaquille O'Neal came to the game.
I rather suspect that's not really Shaq.
No, maybe not.
I think Shaq's a little taller. Back to football, though.
2nd and 15.
Griffin is under center. Fakes the inside handoff to Manuel. Wants to go sideline to Hamilton, and it's just out of his reach.
That was a beautiful fake there. It faked me out. I was following that running back straight up the middle.
Marcus Compton, number 7, and Jimmy Hooker, number 21, on the coverage for the Rampage. So now we have a 3rd down and a long 14, call it 15. Arlington Panthers trying to find the end zone here in the early going. A Minute 16 seconds to go, first quarter. And they are sending 3 wide receivers to the far side. Robert McAfee, Guy Sims split out there along with Hamilton. Manuel, the lone setback behind quarterback Kirk Griffin. This would appear to be a passing formation. And Griffin indeed drops straight back. No fake. Goes sideline once again, this time intended for Tommy Hamilton once again. This time Hamilton is there. However, he appears to be well short of the first down. And for the second time tonight, we'll see the Arlington Panthers field goal unit.
Marcus Compton did a good job of keeping him out of bounds and breaking up that pass.
Neil Blanchard, place kicker out of New Mexico State, will come on. Blanchard, a left-footed kicker. His practice kicks during the pregame warm-ups were from 50 yards, and he was nailing them. This one will be 41 yards. Of course, he didn't have the Rampage defense coming at him during the warm-ups.
That is true.
They got to him the first time. This one is up. And it is no good as he was wide left. So another missed field goal opportunity for the Arlington Panthers, and the Texas Rampage will take over with 1:03 left to go, first quarter.
And Robert, is that sun I see peeking through there on the stands?
Sun peeking through over here on the north side, and there you can see it in that shot. And I think we'd have to consider that to be a good sign.
That would be.
Of course, you look out towards the east and the south, and still plenty of dark clouds there.
1:03 left in the first quarter.
And now I think, as you see part of the skyline there of Carrollton and North Dallas, back down on the field, I think we have some confusion regarding the spot. Referee talking things over with Mike McDade as now we're back ready for action.
First and 10.
Well, I tell you, that skyline shot looked pretty good. And it appears things might be starting to brighten up just a little bit. McDade drops straight back and fires incomplete, intended for Bernard Stiggers on the first play. That pass a little too low and a little too short for Stiggers. Stiggers, 5'9", 165 pounds. Went to high school at Hillcrest. Looking up and down the rosters for both of these two teams, you see a lot of players. Overwhelming majority of them are out of the state of Texas, from the various high schools and junior colleges and some of the universities here in this area. Stiggers, another one of those homegrown talents. As McDade turns this time and gives to Mike Moore. Mike Moore, the running back out of Baylor, spun around and stopped for a loss of about 2. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 12 for the Texas Rampage. 45 seconds to go and counting.
And they are continuing to have trouble up the middle.
So we never really got the rain that we anticipated here. And as you mentioned, Brian, the sun's starting to come out at least a little bit over part of the stadium. And I think both teams now would probably feel pretty free to open things up. And I think the Texas Rampage would pretty well have to open things up on 3rd and 12. Ed Canty is in the backfield now. He stays in the block. McDade runs straight back, throws the ball over to the sideline, intended for no one in particular. And that might have been a little bit of a smarter play at that time. We saw on the second possession for the Rampage, McDade allowed himself to be sacked out of bounds about 10 or 12 yards deep in the backfield. He did not get rid of the ball that time. This time he does.
It still would have made me feel a little bit more comfortable to see him throw that a little bit more out of bounds than he did.
That's true, but with no one really in the same area code as that ball, we're still pretty well safe. Clock stopped with 11 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. As we'll have to have a punt for the Rampage. Rudy Cipriano, another high, short kick. This one off the side of his foot, goes out of bounds. They're going to spot it at the 46-yard line, so the punting game hasn't quite been very sharp for the Texas Rampage, at least not on the first two occasions. And time for one more play here in the first quarter for the Arlington Panthers. The officials have the ball set, and they're talking things over. There's the whistle. Texas Rampage break the defensive huddle. Now the Panthers come up to meet them. Danny Manuel, number 34, the lone setback. Kurt Griffin, the quarterback. He's under center. 3 wide receivers for the Rampage, for the Panthers, I should say, and now they break out of it. An I formation behind Griffin. Final play of the first quarter is a handoff going to the left side. That taken by number 21, Carlos Fleeks. Gain of about 2, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. We played 15 minutes, and we have no score here at Standridge Stadium between the Arlington Panthers and the Texas Rampage. And we'll be back with more action right after this. Yeah.
And don't forget about the field goal kicking contest. We'll draw 5 ticket stubs. The top 2 winners get 3 tickets to the Texas Rangers game Wednesday night. Also check out Ice skating rink. They have 2 full-size arenas under one roof located just north of Beltline and Midway in Addison. They have daily open skate sessions open to the public as well as classes that teach all ages to learn how to skate. That's the ice skating rink.
Y'all got them on their heels, baby. Y'all got them on their heels. Let's go.
Welcome back to Standridge Stadium here in Farmers Branch. Tonight's DCTV cablecast of the Texas Rampage and Arlington Panthers minor league football game. We played a scoreless first quarter of play. And the Arlington Panthers will have the ball second down and 8 at the 44-yard line, 46-yard line, beg your pardon, of the Rampage. Number 12, Kurt Griffin, is the quarterback for the Panthers, and he is wrapped up very quickly. Another blindside sack, this time for James Walton. James Walton out of the University of North Texas. He came in very quickly from his left side linebacker position.
That was just a missed block by Armand Allen. Number 65, the 6'5" offensive guard. 340 pounds, just totally missed that block.
The loss is all the way back to the Panthers' 46-yard line, so in effect they lost 12 yards on that play, 12 more yards, or 10 more yards, I should say. So it sets up a 3rd down and 16 yards needed. Split backfield behind Griffin in the backfield. I formation. Griffin now trying to change the play again. Calls out the signals to his players. Long count. Rampage jump. They were able to get back. A pump fake. Griffin rolls to his left again, fires downfield and out of bounds. Lynn Stovall, the intended receiver. Stovall out of Northeast Louisiana State. And corrects that, it looks like. No, it was Stovall. It was indeed Stovall and not Hamilton. I've seen Stovall and Tommy Hamilton in there on a number of these plays, especially when they go to the 2 and 3 wide receiver sets. That time it was Stovall.
I'm not sure that he was intending to throw it to him, though.
kind of ran out of room over here on the near sideline as Stonewall was finally able to break open. This time it's a punting situation again. Kick is up. Fielded at about the 6-yard line.